All right, guys, one more tech tool which will be useful for us while we're in distance learning is one which I'm pretty new to myself. I just started using it recently, but I found it to be very effective as a way to communicate with students and to keep them engaged in a class discussion format while we are away on this extended break here. So the name of this tool is called Parlay, and the website it's at is parllayideas.com. So that's Parlay ideas.com. Right. And this is usually a paid product, but they're giving everyone free access until May 15th. And you can just do that by logging in with your school account. So, right, when you get to the main page, it'll tell you to get started, right, as a teacher, and you'll log in through your school email. So I've already set up my account. So I'm going to hit login here. And this is me, right? And this is my account. So I've created two courses, US history, and then just this one I was using as a practice course. So when you get in, right, it's going to offer you all kinds of tutorial videos, which I suggest watching. They'll be a lot more thorough than this one and give you a lot of information on how to use this tool. This is just a quick overview to get you started. Okay, so if you want to add a course, you go right here where it says create course and you name it whatever you want, right? So if I want to do another section of US history, that section 2, and I hit create, and then it'll say it's time to create your first round table, right? So what you do is you want to create a round table, and I'll show you what those are in a minute. So I'm just going to hit create here. And it gives me the option to do live or online. So you can choose as you wish, right? Live would just mean when you're in class, right? Face-to-face discussions. Online is sort of a blended learning type format, which is what we should probably use during this time period. Usually you get 3 round tables in your free trial, but for now they're opening up total access. I've been able to make more than 3 already, so I know that works. So I'm here to create online, and it gives you options to create your own from scratch or to use what they call the Parlay universe, right? Their own library of topics. I would suggest before trying to create your own that you take a look at what other people have done. So I'll click here, and it'll open it up in what they call this universe of round tables, and you can search whatever you want. So say my students are going to be studying the Great Depression, right? Search for it and see if anything comes up. So they have a few different options here, right? This is a parlay roundtable, and it says life during the Great Depression. So I'm going to click on it to open it up. And basically what this is it gives students information about a topic, right? So sometimes there's videos which they can watch, there's articles that give them information, and then following that there's discussion questions. So this tool is a discussion-based format, right? It gives information and there's discussion questions for students to follow along with. So they'd start by viewing the video, looking at the articles, right? They can open up these links and follow them to get information, right? And then they'll have the option to answer one of the discussion questions, okay? So what students will do is they will get this, right, prompt here with discussion questions, and then they'll have a place to comment. So I don't actually want to create this roundtable right now, but if I were going to, I'd hit create here, right? And I would select which class it's going to, right? Hit create roundtable, and it would open this up. Now, when I get here, right, this is how I'd link it with the students I have. So this has created this discussion format, right? And they would see this when they open it up, my prompt here, and below they have a space to comment. But right now this isn't shared with any students, right? It's not linked to my classroom or anything. So if I want to do that, what I'd have to do is I have to hit here where it says invite students. And right in class, you could put this join code up, but what you'd want to do for now is you'd want to use your Google Classroom. So I'd hit the Google Classroom link. I'd make sure I'm signed in on my BOCES email, right? So that's the classroom I want to use. And then I can select, right, which of my already set up classes I'd like to go to. I can hit that class and it will share the Parlay link to that class they can get into. And they don't need to do anything. It'll prompt them to sign in through their Google account when they hit the link in Google Classroom. But then it'll open up in this format, and they'll be able to add their reply to discussion questions here. It also asks them to give peer feedback to 2 of their classmates' responses. Okay, so every roundtable asks students to post their own response to the discussion question and give feedback to 2 other students. So it really tries to facilitate a classroom discussion format. All right, I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. So if I go back to my dashboard, all right, I can see the ones I've already started. So let's see, this is the course I'm using for my economics class, right? And we did a roundtable on minimum wage, right? And so here's what it looks like. I click over here on the roundtable I have going here, should minimum wages be higher, and it'll open up. If I want to switch to a different one, right, I would just click and that one would open up, okay? So when I click on the roundtable, it shows up on the main screen here. And this is my prompt, right? It's shrunk right now, but for them, it would look like this. It tells them the learning goals, what the main issue is, some background, and then there's videos that they watch on the topic, right? And discussion questions afterwards. When they're done viewing those, we get to have a discussion, right? Different students have written different responses here. I can click to read the full response. I can leave a comment on the response. 2 students have commented on this one, and I can give an assessment of the response, right? Rate it on different scales, which I can set up however I like, okay? And as you go down, right, you can see different student responses. I can reply to them as the teacher. I can leave comments. I can give feedback as the teacher, whatever I'd like to do. It gives you some other options, right? You can make it anonymous, so they give avatars to the students instead of their real names. I can turn the assessment piece on and off. I can change the assessment cues, and I can turn peer feedback prompts on. So if I wanted to give them prompts for the kinds of things they could say, I could turn these to on, right? And it would give them the options when they go to give feedback themselves. Okay. This is all pretty easy for students to navigate, right? It's pretty user friendly, and it's a format they're used to. So it's a lot like online commenting on a Facebook post or something of that nature, right? So a couple other things I can do here is if I hit the summary tab, it gives me a summary of student responses. So it tells me how many submitted a response, how many gave a comment, and how many received a comment. It gives me the comment lengths, right? It kind of gives me a little map here of the words used, some different things here. Kind of just some cool data on student responses. And a couple other things. So, right, I'm here in my dashboard looking at what I would like to do. So my particular roundtable. By clicking up here on these 3 dots, I can export my data, say I want to put it in Drive from this discussion. I can make a copy of the roundtable. I could end the discussion, or I can turn this off, and I could send an email reminder to students through their Google emails to remind them to participate in the discussion if they're not participating. All right. Now, so that shows you how the roundtables are set up, how they work, right? How to invite students to a roundtable, how to add them, integrate them with my Google Classroom. The last thing I want to look at is if I were to make my own roundtable, what I would do. So I hit create new here. I'd want to go online, and I'd hit create my own. So it gives me a template to follow, right? I could put my learning goals in, insert my content. So if I wanted to grab YouTube videos, right, article links, whatever I'd like to add in there, I can do that, and then come up with my own discussion questions and my guidelines for giving peer feedback, okay? So when I'm done doing that, I'm just going to make a quick change there, so it'll let me save. I would hit save changes and close, and there we go. I have my own roundtable here, which I haven't actually added anything to, but if I had, right, this is where it would be. I could invite students to it. It would then populate, right? I could change the name. So if I want to say roundtable 1, right, I could do that. It would then populate over here. I could navigate using these links to go to my different roundtables. Okay, to invite students again, hit invite students, link to my Google Classroom. I want to go to my school account, and it would let me choose what classes I'd want to share it to. Students would be able to participate in that discussion. Okay, so I've really just started using this tool a couple weeks ago, but it's one I really loved so far, and the students have enjoyed working with. It really facilitates that face-to-face communication when you have a discussion topic you want to talk about in class, and that's a hard thing to replicate in the online world, and this tool has done a really good job of replicating that for my students. We have these tight-knit classes with seniors where they really like to talk to each other about their ideas, their opinions, and this tool has really helped us to do that over the past couple of weeks. Hopefully you can use it too in some way with your classes. Let me know what you think and how it works out for you.